All right, let's do it. It's the question of all questions. Can diabetes be reversed or cured? First, let's start with the good news. Let's start with type 2 diabetes because fortunately, for all of us who suffer with that form of diabetes, this one is the one disease that you can actually control. I swear it may be very difficult for some. I'm going to show you how to make it exceptionally more easy for you. But of all the things out there, this is the one disease that you can actually do something about. This is the ideal thing to get. I mean, there's so many horrible things, and when you get it, you just are just completely helpless. But not with this. The crazy thing is, a lot of what you get from your doctor, what we get from our doctors, is not actually the best advice. They're always trying to treat it. We're trying to get rid of it. There's actually a fantastic video series about it, and I'll put a link to it either in the video or in the description so you have access. And that's what really got me off of metformin and taking all that insulin. So that's number one. So I know that you can have great success with reversing and even curing type 2 diabetes. I hate to use the word cure just because people are so different. What may work for me may not work for you, but I think about 90% of type 2 diabetics can seriously have amazing results just by changing a couple simple things and giving them the momentum to really get off of everything. So that's the good news. Now for type 1 diabetes. Here's the bad news. This one has not been cured, and in America, even if there was a cure, I don't think they would give it to type 1 diabetics. Now, back when I had my site, if you guys remember that, whoever may be listening, you might have seen my site. I had an interview with Dr. Fossman, who was heading up the trials in Boston in the United States. It was probably like a half-hour interview, so if you heard that, got a lot of great feedback about it. But anyway, that site ended up coming down and moved to YouTube, and she was making some strides. She was really risking it all trying to come up with a cure for type 1 diabetes. At the time we did that interview, it was the phase 2 trials. I gave you guys links to how to get involved. So that's promising. Just last night, I was someplace and I had met a type 1 diabetic. Well, I didn't meet her. I met people who knew her. But they talked about it extensively, how she had had a pancreas replacement, and it went well for her to where she didn't need to at least do insulin. I think there's some other things she may have been doing, but not insulin. That's good news. The other thing that I've heard, and this is the one thing I really haven't investigated because, let's be honest, organ transplants are not practical for many of us. In India, they were doing some studies, some double-blind studies in India, and they were making strides in curing diabetes. In fact, it said that over 60% of the patients that they had tested it on actually were getting over insulin, and they were just trying to figure out if those 60% were going to relapse back. They were taking some measurements, and that's also in the book. I'll put a link to the video series because they have a book over there, and on page 420 of that book, it talked about how type 1 diabetes, they were having success 60% in India. Now, for 1,000 reasons, I'm almost positive you'll never see that stuff in the United States where I am. It's so far away that I never really had a chance to really go check it out. But that's the best information I got. So I'll put links to that stuff. If you all have things that have worked for you or you've heard about, just let me know and I will investigate. You know that. So that's what I got. Wish you the best and take care.